This video is talking about the definition or the basic ideas of the probability. So let's start. For the probability, you will always think of some common examples. Or for examples, if this time you want to promote to Form 4 or you promote to another class, you know that in your school you have 4 classes, for example 3A, 3B, 3C, and 3D. And that since you don't know what the class you will probably to attain, so that you know that this time you have 4 choices or 4 possible choices. And so that you know this time for the probability attain a promo to, for example, 3A, you know that since this time you have 4 choices, so that you know that that is the denominator and this is the numerator. And so that we can make use of this quick example to look at here. This time, what is the probability? I just want to say that it is some estimation about some possible outcomes. So that since we want to estimate for some situation, so that we have to make use of the total numbers of possible outcomes, and that is about the possible situations, or say, so that for the worst outcome you can change to the worst situation. That is, if I have several cases, for example I have 4 cases in here, and so that the numbers for the cases should be 4 in this example. And if we want to measure the certain event, the certain situation we want to measure, so that we want to count the numbers of outcomes, which is what's the word favorable, that is satisfied. That is, we want to find some event which is satisfy your situation, and we can make use of it to estimate the situation, what is the level, how probably the event will appear, so that we can make use of the definitions to try to estimate something. And there's a notes for you have to understand. First of all, since you know that for any event the probability should lie between 0 and 1, since for the 1 you know that for examples all students in main college will attain, if someone can promote to Form 3, and that you know that it should attain either 4 classes, so that it will either 3A, 3B, 3C, and 3D, and you know that that is certain for you to attain either A, B, C, D, one of the classes. So that we know that for the probability, which is 1, we know that that is certainly will happen. And for some event which is impossible, and we will denote the event should be 0. And I can just give you very quick example here. If someone he can attain to Form 3, promote to Form 3, and you know that since you know someone who can just go to Form 3, and if I just this time I want to count promote to 4A, which is the Form 4 classes, and then it's not possible, so that there is 0. Since this time some students can only just the level is form 3. He can't attain form 4 classes certainly. So that we want to add this kind of event, we know that it's impossible. So that we will say that the probability is 0. And okay, we can just make use of some examples here. First of all, you want to find the probability of choosing a letter D. And you want to find the probability, we can just simply write down the required probability. And okay, for the required probability, we can just refer to the definitions. For the definitions, you know that the denominator refers to the numbers of all possible outcomes. And so that you know that this time the ADD, there's 3 letters. So that means the numbers of possible outcome is equal to 3, so that we can just plug in 3 in here. And for the favorable outcome, which is D, this time you know that 2D should be your favorable outcome. And so that you know that the number should be 2. And we can just refer to this to write down our required probabilities. And okay, so for one more example, the example number 2, we want to find the probability that the 2-digit number 4 something is a multiple of 5. As you can see, for this number, the 10 digits is 4, and you know that the unit digits can be either 0 to 9. So that, first of all, you know that the required probability should be 10 for the denominator, since you know that all numbers of the possible outcome is 10, and the required probability, you know that the favorable outcome which satisfies your situation should be 2, and you know that after the simplification we can find that the required probability should be 1/5. So that actually for the basic ideas of the probability, it is just relates to the content. We can make use of the content to find the numbers of favorable outcome you want, and that we can estimate the levels for a certain event it appears. And for the next notes, we will learn one method to help us count the event, and that we can estimate the more complicated situations.